Hey guys, Morgan the Rebellious Reviewer. We talk about music, books, and movies. And today we are doing part 15 in my Album of the Day series. So, for those of you who haven't seen the previous parts, this is a challenge that I'm doing with 6 of my imaginary friends who happen to be dragons. And basically, I just use the Pokemon genre table from Rate Your Music to generate, and I generate a random Pokemon, generate a random number, and use those two things to pick an album. Today's Pokemon is Feraligatr, today's genre is Chill Out. Feraligatr's a water type, by the way, and today's album is Geogaddi by Boards of Canada. Before I bring in my imaginary friends and have them give their thoughts, though, I'm gonna briefly give my thoughts on this album. It's pretty good. It's a lot darker than Boards of Canada's previous album, Music Has the Right to Children, though it still has a certain whimsy to it, making it feel like a surreal childhood nightmare. The songs themselves are full of danceable percussion and strong atmospheric elements, which make them fun and contemplative at the same time. As usual with Boards of Canada, I could do without the interludes, but the songs themselves are mostly great. Also, the song Gyroscope was featured in the horror movie Sinister, which is a great movie, by the way. Just thought I'd throw that out there. With that out of the way, let's get started with the voice acting, shall we? Hi, I'm Forrest Woods. And this is Blaze Flarington, Skyler Wing, Houdini Presto, Bolt Thunderstone, and Draven Onyx. Today we're doing another album of the day. It's my turn to pick, and my genre for this week is Chill Out. Now, this was a hard genre for me to pick from, not because I don't like it, but because I'm trying to pick a Halloween album. Chill Out doesn't have many Halloween albums, unfortunately. So I picked Geogaddi by Boards of Canada, since it's at least somewhat scary. Plus, the album is 66 minutes and 6 seconds long, and the song Gyroscope was featured in the horror movie Sinister. That makes it at least a somewhat Halloween-like, right? Anyway, this is a great album. It manages to genuinely relax me while also creeping me out a bit, which is an impressive feat. The samples all sound creepy and contribute to the surreal feeling of the album. The atmosphere is particularly gorgeous. Also, some of the interludes can be a bit meh. I don't know why Boards of Canada is so fond of them. And while I like how it sounds, the sample on The Devil Is in the Details got a bit annoying. Other than that, it's a great album. 8 out of 10. I know this is probably an unpopular opinion, but I actually liked the interludes. I also liked the actual songs, of course. The whole album has this dark yet whimsical atmosphere that reminded me of a dark carnival, or maybe a good version of Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. It's like a childhood nightmare brought to life. The atmosphere is twisted yet gorgeous, and the songs have a bit of a rhythm that justifies calling IDM dance music despite its more contemplative mood. If it wasn't for a few annoying samples and a couple less exciting interludes, this would be a 10. As it is, 9 out of 10. Wow, I'm glad you guys love it so much. I almost did too, but those interludes annoyed me. Why did they have to take up half of the track list? Why did Boards of Canada think they were necessary? And most importantly, why is track 23 nothing but silence for 1 minute and 47 seconds? The songs themselves have such a cool atmosphere. Why did they have to bog it down with filler? Anyway, the songs themselves are good, and I especially liked the hellish atmosphere and creepy samples. This album could have been great if they just cut the interludes out of this album. Especially the minute and 47 seconds of silence at the end. As it is, light 7 out of 10. Wow, Blaze. Your temper is getting the best of you again. I'm sorry. I just hate it when potentially great albums get ruined by bad decisions. Anyway, Draven, would you like to go next? Sure. I really enjoyed this. It had a dark, infernal atmosphere with great use of samples. Also, the album being 66 minutes and 6 seconds long adds to the atmosphere. Had this been released during the Satanic Panic, it would have caused an uproar. I agree that the interludes are a bit distracting, but I didn't mind them nearly as much as Blaze did. Seriously, calm down, Blaze. There were a few moments, such as 1969 and Sunshine Recorder, that were not quite dark enough for this album. Other than that, it was great. Anyway, light 8 out of 10. Oh, come on! How can you not find that minute and 47 seconds of silence annoying? They promise you a song or at least an interlude, and they give you nothing. At least it's not annoying. Anyway, who wants to go next? I will. This album was okay. The interludes were really boring, and there were too many of them. The songs themselves range from great atmospheric electronic tracks to just okay. The atmosphere was interesting, but it had just enough energy to keep me from falling asleep. I will say that the last track was really annoying. I'm with you on that one, Blaze. To me, ending an album with nothing is the functional equivalent of ending a movie by revealing that the protagonist was just dreaming the whole time. It's anticlimactic, and it makes me feel like the people behind it just gave up. Overall, the album is decent, but yeah, those interludes, especially the last track, annoyed me. Light 6 out of 10. And I'll finish this off by saying that this album is pretty good. I agree that some of the interludes could have been cut, and that sample on "The Devil is in the Details" really annoyed me. It ruined some perfectly good instrumentation, too. Other than that, I enjoyed most of the actual songs, especially Music is Math, Julie and Candy, Alpha and Omega, Dawn Chorus, You Could Feel the Sky, and my personal favorite, Gyroscope. Maybe it's just because I love the movie Sinister, but Gyroscope is one of my favorite songs, especially when it comes to electronic music. Anyway, this album has a few too many boring interludes for me to call it great, but it is on the high end of good. Strong 7 out of 10. Now, Skyler, it's time to add up our scores. Of course! This album gets a combined score of 45 out of 60, higher than our Rate Your Music Genre Challenge album, but lower than Blaze and Draven's picks. So far, Draven is still on top, but we have 3 chances to beat him. That won't happen. I'm winning every week from here on out. We'll see about that. Tomorrow's my turn to pick. I'll try to pick a Halloween-themed album, but depending on the genre, I may not be able to. Yeah, Blaze and I had a hard time finding one for our genres. Anyway, let's throw it back to Morgan. And that's my video. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. I'm Morgan the Rebellious Reviewer, and I'm out.